That's
Hey, girl.
what's up.
We were just talking before I hit record that I'm channeling my Nana today. I have on red lipstick and I'm wearing her diamond ring. And yeah, I was in sweats and like a hat. And I saw a video of myself from 2 years ago and I had on red lipstick. And I was like, I'm going to go put on red lipstick.
That's awesome.
So,
I am still the same as I was earlier. Look at that. I mean, that's not a very good angle of my nose, but and I have all this little
oh
growth.
my
But look at
gosh.
all this growth right now. This came out of nowhere. All these like
That's,
little pieces of growth. I'm like, where did this come from? It was like I
that's
literally woke up and this is where it's at.
so they're new.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
they weren't here and then they showed up and I mean they like literally showed up this length. So maybe I'm losing my hair. I don't know. Like what is happening?
I
It's
don't
fine.
know. It's
It's fine.
yeah, hair is like a whole thing. I don't know. I'm thinking about cutting all mine off. I'm like kind of over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
So I'm cozy today and you're bringing it with your
well, I'm in sweats and a tank top. I just put jewelry and red lipstick on. That's all.
I like that you have sweats on the bottom. Yeah, but that's a nice tank top, girl. That's like a
Oh,
that's
it's
a
just
nice
here. I'll show you.
tank
It's
top.
just like a little wife beater and like joggers that are like yoga joggers.
Yeah, that's real cute. You need to send me the link for that tank top. That's cute.
Anyway,
It
okay.
looks like it could be from like Loft or something. Like it looks like a nice
Oh, thanks.
white tank top.
I think it's from Amazon, which I never buy clothes on Amazon, but I needed a white tank top and like I just ordered one from there.
Okay, well send me if you find the link, send it to me. Don't order clothes on Amazon because they're all junk. Even
They
though my
are all junk. I literally
pants I have on right now are from Amazon, but they're junk.
total junk. I never order in anything I've sent back, but this because it's like just a white tank top was fine.
Yeah. Sometimes some of their stuff is okay. Don't get me wrong. Like I really like these pants. I like how they fit. I like how they feel. It's just the quality of the material is not there. Like they're already like where my thighs will rub together, they're already starting to like have the like where it balls up. Yeah.
I hate that. See, I'm big on like quality. I will pay more for my clothes to have good quality and they last longer. So it's actually, I feel like you're not really paying more.
I would agree. I just Amazon is just so easy breezy. Well, actually their returns are getting worse in my opinion. But there for a long time it was just real easy and yeah. So it's like I would love to go somewhere and get more quality stuff. It's not my season of life and it's okay.
No,
Um, it'll happen. So let's talk about episode 7. The title was Let's Go Camping. I wrote that down because I'm like, oh, that's so cute. I like the camping episodes. There's a lot of episodes I like, but I like the camping one. I think it's fun. This one it had some good stuff to it. So at the beginning, it was where Jay was like trying to reconcile with his girls, and I thought that was really cute. I think he's such a manly man with like good emotional intelligence that he can navigate things. Like he doesn't seem to get upset or anything. He's just kind of like, okay, yep, I get it. You should be mad. All right, let's talk about it.
yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. I like him a lot. He does have good emotional intelligence, and I'm pulling at my notes. And I just think he's a cutie too. And like, I don't know, I just like him.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm kind of like, oh my God. Okay, so we can start with Jay. That's fine. But I definitely have to talk about Alexandra at some point.
I like her going home.
Yeah, we have to talk about that.
Okay.
But we can start with Jay.
Well, we kind of talked about this the last episode. I'm sorry, my voice is a little like funky from my cold. That the girls were all mad at the two farmers that brought people back, and their quotes were like, bringing a girl back means he doesn't see something special in us and that we're like lacking something. Those were both quotes I wrote down from, I think there was two different girls. And like Jay was really quick to say, no, it doesn't mean you're not special. Like, obviously, there's a connection there, blah, blah, blah. I kind of tend to lean more towards that, like, well, obviously, we don't have what it takes, or we're not good enough for you to be like, no, I already have a good connection with the girls. I don't need more. But then, and we kind of talked about that last time. Then Juliana, one of the new girls, what she said to somebody else was, if you are meant to be with that guy, no matter like how much time you get with him, you will be with him. Because her complaint was like the total opposite. Like, you guys have been here longer, you have a better connection, you know him more,
Right.
like whatever. I'm just here as like a stand-in. So I think the two points of view are interesting, but I wanted to ask you how you felt about the whole like, if you're meant to be with the guy, you will be with him, like no matter what, basically. Like, it doesn't matter if you're with him, for 2 minutes or 2 weeks, like, you'll be with him.
Yeah. Of course, you would bring this up when I have been contemplating this in my personal life. I
Ah,
had no clue you were bringing this up, so that's fascinating. Um, and for some reason, like I feel like I'm gonna cry, like my emotional wave turned on. Woo! Um,
let it flow, girl. Let it out.
yeah, it's so funny. So what I believe is that yeah, like you will be with the person you're meant to be with. I There's a little bit of a caveat I have. So everyone has free will. So like let's say two people meet and they are really like meant to be together. Um well, if one of those people doesn't basically like agree to it on a spiritual or soul level, whatever, if they're just like, look, this is my highest, they may not consciously be doing this, but let's just say like on in some realm, that is their highest relationship that they could have in this lifetime with someone, but they choose to not embrace that for whatever reason, because most of us have to work through some things and heal to like really accept all the goodness that's available to us. Um, then I think there are other people for you. Like, I don't think it's like you can only have one soulmate. And if the person out of free will, like, doesn't do it, then you're just fucked because this other person said no. So, like, yes, I think you are going to be with the person you're meant to be with. And it may not always be the person you thought it would be, if that makes sense.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I just think that the universe is so generous and so giving and always has our highest good in mind that even if we say no to something good for us, we will have more opportunity to have more goodness.
But it's not one specific person then.
No, well, right. Like I think that there is a specific um like you're meant to be with someone specifically maybe, but like if for whatever reason out of free will we say somebody says no to that, then there are other people for you too. So it's not like okay, like that was that Juliana who said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. She's
So
one of the new
she,
girls.
she could feel like, oh, he is 100% meant for me. But if he doesn't get on that train or feel it, then there will be someone else for her. Like she's not just hung out to dry.
Okay. I kind of see what you're saying and kind of, yeah.
No, go ahead. Like out.
Well, I can't even like put it into words. Like, I see what you're saying, but then I feel like then it's saying that you don't believe in like soulmates necessarily. Like, one person is destined to be with another person. no matter what. Because I feel like when I think of like destined to be with that person, it means like no matter what happens in the world, like somehow these two people will be together. That's what I think about when like
Yeah.
she said something like that. Like if you're meant to be with that guy, no matter like how much time you spend with him, you'll be with him. So I'm like, to me, that's kind of a destiny thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm
Well, it's
not sure
definitely
even
destined
like
that,
destiny or soulmates.
yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's definitely destined that like you meet each other and that opportunity is available to you. But will both people say yes? That's where we get to choose. Like nobody's making us do the thing.
Okay, hold up, hold the phone. So then you're saying, like, remember how I told you about my spark, right? And that, he treated me like crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were destined to meet. It's just his free will made him a jerk.
Well,
I'm
either
saying that being mean. I'm saying that being mean. That's really not how I'm like what I'm saying. I
yeah.
mean, like his free will was like, no, this isn't right.
So you were challenging him to step into a higher frequency of himself. And he said no to that. And so you still learned beautiful lessons out of that. But part of that lesson was I'm not going to be with someone who's an asshole. Right. Like,
Yeah.
so,
So
and
you're saying we're destined to cross paths and meet, and there are lessons and opportunities that come from that. But that
yeah,
doesn't
like,
necessarily mean that he's like destined to be with me, like forever.
yeah, he may not have been, but I will say, so in my experience, like I've had a meeting with someone before where I've met them and I have felt an initial like, oh, this person's for me. And then there have been other sets of circumstances that, and they have even maybe felt that and agreed, like they agree that that feeling is there. But there
Hmm.
are other circumstances that they can't let go of to move forward in in the relationship with me. But that doesn't mean then I'm never going to have a husband or um maybe even in the future never going to be in a relationship with that person, like who knows. So I just think the universe is generous and that um sometimes we meet people for just a reason, like a lesson, and sometimes we meet people and they are an actual what people would think of as a soulmate, like we're meant to be with them long term and partner with them, marry them. And still, because we are human, we have free will, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I see what you're saying, kind of. I mean, I see what you're saying. I just am like not able to clearly summarize it, which is fine. I don't need to summarize what you're saying.
No, but I like when you
Um,
do. I like when you do, Summer, that you're good at that.
yeah, I just can't. But, anyways, we both kind of don't necessarily believe in soulmates. I would agree that it is destined to like cross paths with people, and you're destined to have different journeys and opportunities. It's just like whether you're saying like your free will allows you to grab a hold of those and take you somewhere.
Yeah, and I would say I do believe in soulmates for sure. I just think that we can have more than one because that's how life works. And I think that also, as we're talking about this, what I'm noticing in myself is it is really disappointing to have to face that someone who you love and who you feel is your soulmate could just not choose you in return.
Yes.
And that's something that's it's baked into the human experience that we don't want to address or have to look at. And so I think when we say if you're meant to be with that person, you 100% will be with them no matter what. For me, it's a yes and, because I would love for that to always be the story and that be the end of the story. And in an ideal world, it would work that way. But because we're humans on planet Earth with human experiences and a lot of tangled stuff in our lives and in our karmic history and in our genetic, in all the things, right? Our ancestral lineage and everything. And in just this one life, there's enough baggage and stuff going on that sometimes we just don't allow ourselves that freedom, even when we feel it. Like, even there have been times I have felt like I'm with an amazing person and feel so great, and I still haven't been able to allow myself to stay in that relationship because it just felt like too much for me and too good to be true, and it was too scary and I couldn't do it. And I've had to really, but that allowed me to face myself and work through those parts of myself, so now I feel I am ready.
Yeah.
But it's painful to think someone who's meant for us could say no, but I think that is the reality.
See, but then I don't think that they're meant for you. I don't know. I think soulmates aren't even necessarily like sexual. I was gonna say boy and girl, but that's not gonna work. So I don't even think that it has to be like a sexual connection. Like,
I
I
agree.
would have said that my mom was my soulmate because we just got each other
Yes.
on a level that, like, I don't think there's anybody else. Well, actually, I don't know. My one daughter, I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I think we're gonna get there someday. Like, I think that we're gonna like have that one day. Um, and I'm not saying like I don't think my husband's my soulmate, but I don't even know that, like, maybe later on we'll be able to connect in a different way. I just feel like right now his soul and my soul are just in two different areas, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like his soul is working on something else while my soul is working on this. And like they're just not like
Are they
as
like parallel?
entwined.
Are they like parallel, but just not?
I would, yeah, I would say it's more like this. We're side by side, but one's kind of back farther than the other one. And that's okay because he's hit a bump in his road a little bit. So until he gets over the bump, like it's not,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. And I think that again is just life and the nature of relationships, because it's kind of silly to think that we can all always be on the same page with our partner all the time and be at the same place in life and all of that. Because it's just like the
I think
reality
people have
is,
expectation though. I think that's a lot of the reason why relationships don't work out is because they have that expectation of like,
oh, yeah, I think we should talk about that for just a second. Um, because I think it's important to just note that while you may not always be 100% on the same page and in the same place and all of that, there does, in my opinion, and you can tell me what you think, I think there does have to be some common level of like in my, like with my ex-husband, a big part of that issue for me is, and I do believe like I was meant to meet him and meant to be with him for so long. We taught each other a lot, but it could not continue on because I grew so much in my self evolution journey and in taking self accountability and looking at myself and doing my internal work. And so it like raised the bar for him to a point that he didn't want to like come along. And he's doing his own way of living his life and doing whatever that might be in alignment for him, but it didn't work with in alignment with how I live, right? Like we,
yeah. Mhm.
how I live wasn't in alignment with how he lives. So I do think like you're not always on the same page and stuff, but I do think there does have to be like you have to be on the same road or something.
I think yes, there definitely is like clear boundaries within like reason that you're gonna obviously stay with this person or not. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. I just think that like going back to Farmer Wants a Wife and like they're evaluating these girls in these relationships and they're kind of guessing and hinting around like Colton got rid of Hope and he's like, I just don't I their breakup speeches suck, by the way. They need to plan them like way better. But it's always like, I just don't know that you're gonna be here and want to do this or whatever his like stupid line was. And it's like, okay, first of all, you don't even really know her that well. So I feel like, yes, there has to be a boundary and within like operational limits. But I think the second part of that is people just like, I don't know, assume or whatever that there has to be like this equal playing field. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I feel like yeah, there's that expectation there that everything has to be perfect and everything has to be in alignment and everything has to be agreed upon and that
Yeah.
it'll just be that way forever. And that's not how it works. There are ebbs and flows and seasons of life that bring changes and knock you on your butt. And it's, how is this somebody you will want to keep up with or, stay the course with.
Right.
I guess
Right.
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Cause I would agree. You're right. You're obviously not going to stay in a relationship with somebody and it's like totally not going to work. But I
Right.
think that
Did
there's
you
like this
trust?
illusion that there's all this, happy go lucky feelings,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Do you trust and respect and honor and admire like who each of you are as people? And I don't know. I think when you have that kind of like, when you're devoted to one another and you're devoted to your marriage as an entity of itself, then both of you want to show up and want to be present and aware and supportive and all the things that are necessary so that even if you do disagree on something, you can still navigate it together for the best good of the whole.
Yes. Kind of like with the whole Jay situation, bringing back
Yeah.
Rissa, and then the other girls were upset, but like he was able to recognize it and honor them and understand that, and he was fine with it, and he like even thanked them for like communicating and having those communications and stuff. Where I feel like other people might react to like, well, how dare you get mad at me? How come you can't get mad at me? Like I don't want to have somebody who's going to get mad at me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, both of you have to like navigate and anyways, back on track. We just took a very long trip around the sun in our back.
Well, I mean, that's what this is getting juicy
That's
is all
right.
about.
We got
We
real juicy for that one. Um
well,
okay.
I want to know what you thought about Alexandra and when she left. So at the beginning of the episode, she was talking about how she thought her date went well. And I
Yeah.
literally made a note because she was like, "Oh, I thought that my date with Matt went so well." And I was like, "What?" Because watching it, it just seemed awkward and like it didn't go well at all, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But then when she left, she said, and I put it in quotes, that I was feeling the same. Like when he said,
Yeah.
our date didn't go so great and I wasn't feeling a connection. And like she literally just said right before that that she thought it was great and that they were on the same page. So like I
They
don't get it.
get confused. I don't know. I think they get confused and like caught up in like the idea of this show and like romanticize it maybe because she did say that she was needing more like affection from him. And I think maybe when he was like, confirming or saying that he wasn't that into it, then she was like, okay, maybe that's really what it was. Maybe it wasn't that it was like a great date. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand why people say that either. I'm kind of with you on that one. Like, it was great. And then when they get rejected, it's like, oh, yeah, I was like not into it either.
Right. Like
That's
I
how
just,
Julia was when she left. She's like, I don't even like it here. And blah, blah,
oh,
blah.
I
And like, she just
know,
kept
I know.
making all these nasty comments. And it was like, okay, but you were acting like you were
Right.
interested.
Well,
No,
like my mom and dad were here and I watched it with my mom and my dad saw part of it. But when that happened, I looked at my mom and I'm like, am I, did I understand her? Oh, yeah, she just said it, like, and I think it's just, do they not want to look stupid? Or, like instead of being vulnerable, like just be vulnerable and be like,
Mhm.
God, I really thought I was blindsided. Like I thought it went well and we were connected and we weren't, obviously. Or
Yeah,
whatever. Like just be honest instead of totally changing your story.
right. Lots of the girls don't get upset though. I really liked Hope's reaction when she's like everybody's like, "Oh, you're leaving." And she's like, "Whatever. I'm one more like step closer to finding my man." And I was like, "That is
Yeah.
exactly how you should look at it." Um so I really like it when they get advice because it seems like once these boys get advice, then they're like ready to take it and run. Because like that sparked something. I feel like Colton knows what he's doing. I feel like Jay knows what he's doing, but I feel like it sparked something in Matt and it sparked something in John where
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, like let's make some decisions here. Let's take some chances." I don't know if they're just like not as into the girls as they want to be or if they're afraid. Like my theory for John is that he was like gung ho ready to take on this show and go for the experience. And then when Samantha rejected him when like that first date that they had when he went in to kiss her, I think that kind of messed him up a little bit. I think that kind of like took
Yeah.
some of his power away because she
Oh,
she got in charge. She took some control of the situation instead of just like letting the moment be the moment. She's like, nope, not doing it. And I think that kind of like took some of his steam and his power. That's my opinion. Because I feel like
yeah.
for him to want to kiss somebody on a first date, like right off the bat, I was expecting him to kiss more girls up to this point
Oh,
and
yeah. I
explore
can see.
explore relationships more and he hasn't done it. He's been kind of like off to the side. Like when him and Claire were sitting together, they were like 10 feet apart. I'm like,
Yeah. He did kiss
why
Lily,
are
though.
two
I was,
people close together?
yeah, I
He
was
did. Did
shocked.
you notice that his leg was still up? Like his
No.
he was sitting, you know how when people sit, it's not like cross-legged, but they have like, one leg
Yeah.
like
A figure
their
four.
ankle resting on the knee. Yeah, a figure four. Yeah, that's how he was sitting. And I was like, that looks real weird because they zoomed out and he's like sitting like that. I'm like, I'm still not getting like the love and connection. I mean, I'm glad he finally kissed somebody. And I
Yeah.
think he needs to let his walls down and his guard down. But I think that like him and Matt need to take on some more power because like I first I didn't think I was really gonna like Colton that much, but I like him.
Yeah.
Like I
I
loved
mean, he's
his whole
funny.
like he's like, "Do you see that fish jump over there?" And she's like, "What?" And then he like kissed her and I was like, "I
Yeah.
think you're hilarious." I
Yeah, he's funny.
I would so enjoy that in a relationship to have somebody that like does like dumb stuff to get a kiss. Like I think that is so funny. Like I'm a terrible kisser. Oh, you are
Well,
you? Do you want to
well,
find out? Like I sure do.
I mean, that is funny, yes, but I think like it will run out at some point. Like it isn't cute to do that your whole relationship.
No, but
Yeah.
I like as a married woman
Yes,
for
sometimes
a long time, I'm like, I think that would be so funny if Jeremy started doing stuff like that. Like
just
I think
random, like every now and then.
yeah, it would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, you see that over there?" And then like kiss me. I think that'd be so funny.
Oh, it would be amazing because it's different and it's fun. It just keeps a little fresh scent in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want him to do it forever, like every kiss every day all the time.
But
But
I
if
think,
that was like a thing, I think that'd be cute, like a monthly or weekly thing.
yeah, I think when men can still, like, I don't want a prince to, like, as my husband, but I think when a king can access his prince energy sometimes still and like be playful and have fun, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fun to have that playfulness and silliness inside of a container of true like provision, protection, and care and everything, you know?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Um, I agree with you. And I will circle back because in the very beginning you said that you tend to like kind of feel, I don't want to say side with, but like feel you can understand the girls and your thought is more like, why would they need to bring anyone back? They must not have a good relationship with someone here already. But I just still feel like I can see that perspective, but I just feel like it moves so fast and it's really not like that much time. So if they went on that date and felt a little something, I can see why, especially if they were like, okay, I feel more with this new person than I do someone else that I have back home. Then I can see why you would want to like swap them out, kind of like send
Yes.
them.
And
You
I
know
can
what I
see
mean?
that. Yeah, I can see that. I think like I don't know, some of these and I would love to know how long filming really is. Maybe I'll look it up. But like some of these girls are so patient, just like waiting around, waiting for attention. Like I wrote that down. I'm like these girls are so patient because these boys really don't share a lot about like how they feel. I mean, I feel like Jay will and like
Mm.
Colton will, but the other two I'm just like man, these girls are so patient. I don't think I could deal with that. Like it would drive me nuts. But I also know I need like reassurance. That's just who I am. I need reassurance and um yeah, that would just drive me nuts like to just kind of be hanging out like, okay, so like are you into this or not? Like this is not fun.
I was happy that Matt actually like made a decision.
Mhm.
You know, I actually like that. I wrote that down. I am so proud of him. And
He
one
made
of
a decision. He like made a move on Chelsea.
but one of the girls, and I don't remember which one, like she said that. She was like, I am so proud of him. Like because he made
Yeah.
it sent someone home. And I'm like, it just kind of made me laugh because it's like it made me think of that like, oh good boy, you made a decision, good for you, you just did so good, you know, like he's a little kid. It's like, I don't personally, I don't find that attractive.
Yeah, yes, and I think that that's like what we were talking about earlier within the boundaries of understanding somebody. Like, if you understand that they're not the best decision maker,
Yeah.
like that's probably how it's going to be forever. It's probably not really going to change that much. So, like, is that something you're willing to compromise on, navigate whatever? Like that would be one of those things. Or like with what you're saying, like I'm not here to just drag you along and hope that you'll decide something at some point in time. Like that's not for me. And I think I would agree. I don't really like the older I get, the more I realize I like a strong spine. Like the wishy-washy like just is such a turnoff for me. I don't like it. I'm just like ew.
Well, it's funny you use that word, those words, a strong spine, because that is um very like that is part of masculine energy, even like in ourselves, like as women or like because everyone has, you know, masculine energy in them. like when you meditate or whatever, and like sitting with a strong spine that is creating the containment for that meditation space and for spirit to really move and for your soul to go on its journey. So, I mean, I agree. I just feel like it helps me orient as a woman. It helps in a relationship because I love a strong man and a strong spine and a decision maker, and it helps me orient to what is and what I can expect, and you know, like it just helps me with feeling safe and knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and strong spines don't have to be like mean or grumpy. They just
Oh
like
no.
know what they want and they're able to make it happen.
Actually, some men who I know who have really strong spines are very like gentle and kind, and they don't have to be mean and grumpy and forceful with what they're saying, and it's going to be this way because they are strong in themselves. So they can just communicate, and you can really feel
Mhm.
that power. But
Yeah, I wouldn't say mean and grumpy is a strong spine.
no,
Some people probably would interpret it that way, but
yes, right. Yeah. Yeah. So I love that you pointed that out because it's true. Like sometimes I think our ideas of masculine and feminine, and even like saying strong spine or whatever, are kind of perverted. And by perverted, I don't mean like sexually perverted. I just mean they're what's another word I could use? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something because now I'm like, yeah, perverted is right, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They're just like completely misunderstood, and they
yeah, mhm.
into something that they're not, those words. And people, yeah, people are just completely like, when they think of masculinity, they think of the toxic masculine, which isn't strong, healthy masculinity at
It's not masculine anyways. Yeah, toxic masculine is not a version of masculine.
all. Right.
Somebody being a jerk. Like,
I actually often think it's like men in overly feminine energy. That's what I think of when I think of toxic masculine. I think it's actually men in feminine energy, like overly.
yeah,
Yeah, because like the feminine, because they have feminine energy in them too, right? But and the feminine does sometimes want to rage or have all these emotions and whatever. But how do you give structure and containment to those emotions and the way that they're communicated? That's all masculine.
right.
Anyway.
No, I agree. It makes sense. We're on the same page, girl.
Yeah, I was saying I don't feel like I didn't. The only other note that I really made was about Juliana. And I really, it annoyed me. Like I remember her saying what you said about the soulmate thing, and if you're meant to be with someone. But then it like annoyed me because the more the episode went on, the more she was like getting mad that he wasn't giving her attention, and she had that like pick me energy, but she didn't ask for anything that she wanted.
Yeah.
She
Hmm.
didn't just ask for time with him or let him know she would like to have some or whatever. She was just kind of like I said, I was going to say kind of spiraling. I don't mean like a full on spiral, but you know, she,
Yeah. Hmm.
did you feel the same?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think it's interesting too, because I guess as a girl who like got brought in with girls he already has, I would figure I'd have an edge on them. Like I'd have one up on them because obviously he really likes me and is interested in me because he brought me back. Whereas like he clearly wasn't just satisfied with who he had. So I would think that I would have like, I don't know, a little bit more leverage in that case, but it didn't seem like he was really paying attention to her anyways.
No, like he really didn't give her much attention at the
I mean,
camping.
they showed us, so I
Right. Yeah.
think
And
that's really odd.
I would be, I mean, I can see why she felt frustrated because her expectations may have been what you were saying. So she may have been like, he'll for sure talk to me. But then it could have, I guess in that situation, I could have felt like if I were in her shoes, like, well, why did he even bring me here to begin with?
Yeah,
We,
that's what I would think. That's what I would think. Like, okay, so what was the point of this? Just so you can have another number? Like, whatever.
but I
Um,
would communicate it for sure to him.
my last note was when Taylor and Nathan from last season, which I really like them, and I'm so glad they're still together. Every once in a while, I don't see them like share each other on Instagram, and I'm like, no, they didn't break up, did they? Um, but Taylor was telling the boys, like, basically, you're doing yourself a disservice by keeping so many girls around because you can't get to know all of them on a deeper level if they're all still there. So
Yeah.
I really liked her advice. I think that she was right on the money with that one. Like, especially Matt, like, send somebody home. Like, you don't like all of them the same. Like, now is the time to start saying and feeling into who you really are interested in versus who you're not. I'm like
Yeah.
really excited to see like who they pick, if they're still together. That's where I'm like ready to be. I like this show. I wish it was 2 hours instead of one to give us more. Um, but
Yeah.
now I'm like really ready to see if whoever is there at the end and if they're still together.
Yeah. I will say, did you think, because when you brought that up about Nathan and her being there, I forgot that they were there. And I think it was, I want to say it was Jay. I may have made a note, but one of the guys, yeah, it was Jay. He asked Nathan when he knew that, what's her name? His girlfriend?
Taylor.
Like, when he knew Taylor was the one. And Nathan went off on this whole big thing, but I don't think he ever answered the question.
No, he didn't answer the question. I
Okay.
would agree with that because I thought the same thing. I'm like, where's
Yeah.
the answer in that?
But then Jay wasn't like, okay, you didn't answer my question. I think he was
Yeah,
like,
he didn't. He was like not rude about it. Yeah, because he totally. Yeah, he did not really say or give like any confirmation. I didn't think either.
yeah, I was like, do you know what? Oh, I'll tell you that after. I was like, um, I didn't. I was just confused by the end of it. I was like, I didn't see why he.
Yeah, he
I
was not very clear.
yeah. So I was like, well, that wasn't helpful.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I think like asking people that too is like it's such an individual thing because obviously like what these boys are looking for are not what Nathan's looking for. So like, how did you know she was the one? Is like such an individualized question. Like I could say, 10 reasons for why she was the one for me, but those might not be the reasons you're looking for. You might not be looking for, somebody who's quiet. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's just funny because it was like that one farmer said, oh, when she was watering the yard, that was the moment.
yeah, that's how I knew.
And so I'm thinking, like, I don't know. I almost was wondering if he was looking for a different answer. Like, huh, is it really, should I just be looking for someone to help around the farm or is there another?
Yeah, is there another aspect to it? Yeah, that's interesting. I know when they were on this show, like he was really young. I think he was 23, if
Was
I
he?
remember right. Yeah, he was like really young because I remember him talking about how young he was, but he was like mature and ready for it. Because I find these shows like fascinating. I don't know about you, but like all of these people are going on these shows to like get married, but then like a lot of them are still single for years after the show's over, like years and years and years. Like I went back and creeped on the guys from like the very first season. Not a single one of them, according to their Instagram, has somebody that they're with. And I'm just like,
Do you think it's though because they just haven't met anyone?
I mean, I'm guessing they stick to the farm a lot, which makes sense. That I mean, I like am married to somebody who farms. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like they're in it and they just do their thing all day long and whatever. Um, but I think like I just am really curious as to even like on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Love is Blind, like all of these people, lots of them are still single. And it just makes me so curious. Like, have you tried dating? Have you not tried dating? Did the show scar you for life to never even want to get married or put yourself back out there again?
It's
Is
hard
there
for life.
truly nobody out there to like date and be with? Like, it's
Yeah.
wild. I was actually listening to a podcast, it's a Bachelor podcast last night, and the girl was like saying that she's only been on one date in 2025 so far. Like two people had stood her up. Like she just cannot find anybody. And I'm like, that is wild.
I
And
will
she was on The Bachelor like years ago, at least 5 years ago. And
I will
she's
tell you
still single and like find anybody.
live from the dating pool. It is crazy. Like this one guy told me, okay, this is just an example of the dating pool. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy owns a business here in Columbus. He makes like a shit ton of money. He like seemed really nice. I had fun with him like on our dates. And then after a few dates, he told me that we were talking more in depth about things were looking for or wanted. And literally said to me that he wanted someone who would like make dinner and take care of all the things around the house and all that and work and pay half of the bills. And I was like, oh, I mean, I literally like what I just was. I mean, it was like I was speechless. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I just sat there and I was like, wait a minute. So you want someone, I just want to make sure I'm right on what I'm hearing. Like, you want them to do all the stuff at the house and work and pay half of the bills. And he said, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm clearly not the person for you. I
Yeah.
have zero.
Well, it was nice to meet you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go now.
But I'm like, my mom
That's
was
what like makes me crazy. These men who just want a maid and a cook. I am not your maid.
besides that.
I'm not your cook.
Well, but he wanted a maid, a cook. Like I'm not a maid or a cook, but I like to keep a home and I like to cook and like not every day, but but like I enjoy those things. But I'm sure as shit not doing all that and working a full time job and then spending my money to pay half the bills. Like that is insane. And I don't know any woman who really wants to enjoy her life and be in her feminine who's gonna like sign up for that and who he's actually gonna be interested in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
And
I think
listen, I'm really curious about you wanting to keep a home because like it's you and your son. So like when you were married, did you still enjoy keeping a home?
yeah,
Okay. Because I kind of struggle in that area. Like I want my house to have a certain feel. I want my and my kids are small still, so I have to say that. But I want my house to have a certain feel and a certain look and whatever. Like I have goals and ideas, but like keeping a home, I don't know. Like I don't it's not that I don't love it. It's just very challenging in this season. And I can be bitter about all of those things that, like we all live here. We all use this place. We all want dinner. Like that's where I kind of get, and I don't
yeah.
know that maybe that's because that's how my mom kind of was. Maybe like I don't know. I would be curious.
Well,
Like, did
tell
your
me.
mom love keep a home?
Okay, well that's what I was going to say. Well, first of all, I don't know. I mean, my mom worked, so I think my mom liked to have things nice, but I really did a lot. in
Mhm.
helping to keep our home as a kid too. But like my nana definitely like loved keeping a home, and she taught me the importance and the value of home making. And families don't just appear out of nowhere as connected, loving,
Mhm.
beautiful families. Someone has to nurture that and make that and create that atmosphere. So
Okay, good, good, good. Keep it going.
yeah, somebody has to make the home a loving, nurturing home that's comfortable where people want to come and want to embrace one another and want to sit and have conversations and want to have beautiful meals, especially like great home cooked meals. Like that nurtures and grows the kind of family that I would say a good majority of people would dream of having.
Mhm.
And my Nana taught me that. And she showed me by her own works and actions. And she loved it. She never complained about keeping her home. She loved it. And she loved even like growing her flowers and the outside of her home being beautiful and like having a space. And she let us play and make messes and be part of all of it. So growing up, I
Mhm.
was part of everything with her. But it's like, how do we think we're going to create these beautiful families who want to come back and connect and talk and let, like, how do we think we're going to create that if we don't keep a home?
Yeah. Mhm.
So, my question was for you, I'm curious what keeping a home means to you, like when you hear that.
Cleaning and cooking, no. I feel like it sounds nicer than what I currently picture or do. Like making a home sounds way nicer than what I say. So maybe that's what I need to focus on. I need to focus on saying making a home.
Yeah, I think it's a lost art in our
Oh,
day.
for sure.
People
Mhm.
have people come in and stage a home, and that's not the same as keeping one and really making one that suits your family. And it's fine if people want to have someone come in and clean or do things for them, but then I still feel like even when I used to have people come clean for me, I did the in between, and every day I made sure that I kept it comfortable, and would clean in between and pick up, and I would have beautiful flowers or beautiful food in my refrigerator or on my counters to serve and to be to so everyone felt welcome, even when it was just Jagging me or Jagging Kevin and me. Like I want Jagger to come home from school and know there's something special waiting for him.
Yeah.
And I think kids nowadays have missed out on that. Like
Mhm.
they just have it's just not the same. Like their parents might not be there waiting with open arms to just download the day and hear how it was, to give them a healthy snack, to just give them a soft place to land after they've been at school all day.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I mean everybody has different situations and circumstances
Yeah.
going on. So, I mean, yeah, and there's different seasons in life where it's like not possible, but I think you're right as far as like, making a home is like a thing versus whatever. Cause I like when all of this started, this whole topic, when that guy was like, I want somebody to cook for me and clean and pay half the bills. Like, to me, I am not a maid and I'm not a cook. And I don't mind doing those things or that being my role or whatever, but I also feel like in order for me to sustain that role, I need other people to honor and recognize and cherish me in that role,
Oh,
and like
100%.
really, really show deep. appreciation and gratitude for that role, because otherwise I get bitter. It's like, oh, it must be nice to just be able to sit on the couch and do whatever and scroll your phone while like the rest of us are slaving away. Like that's where I get
And I'm not saying,
bitter and resentment.
yeah, I think that makes 100% sense. And I'm not saying that I would want to do all of everything all the time 100% on my own, because that also is exhausting and not pleasurable. And then it's like, I've said this to you before, but or I think I've said it a lot to a lot of people. Like, I think when men say that they want someone to do all of that, like a different man said that to me once, and I'm like, well, but if I was your wife and you would want me to do all that, would you also want me to have dinner to have energy to make love to you at the end of the day when you get home from work or whatever, or in the morning? Because I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
like, I can't, things have to be in your pleasure and in a flow, and there does have to be a give and take. It's not like tit for tat keeping score. And definitely keeping a home to me doesn't mean then I'm on the hook to make every dinner and clean every toilet. And, it just means that I create a space and an environment where there's harmony.
Yeah, uh-huh. And there has to be, yeah, because I when you were saying that, I was just thinking about how chaotic my home feels having three small kids, because there is a lot of chaos. They are chaos, number one. All their crap is chaos, number two. Um, so like, yeah, how do I want my home to feel? Um, but I think what you're saying as far as there has to be a flow to it is like the flow goes back and forth. It's not just like one person just putting in the flow the whole time. Like it has to go, it has to be a back and forth kind of emotion that requires the other party to honor and appreciate and do things to get the flow to come back to them. Because I think that's how you keep the bitter and resentment out of that. Because I think some of my examples as far as like a mom and a wife, like it's very servanthood, and it's not, my mom wasn't necessarily that way. I feel like they did have some flow to their relationship, but some of the other women in my life were definitely servanthood. I'm gonna make your breakfast. I'm gonna pack your lunch for you when you go to work. I'm gonna have all your laundry done. Like basically, the man and his role in the household is to never lift a finger. And I feel like, I don't know, for myself, I need to draw some clear boundaries of what is servanthood versus what is in my nurturing, like
Yeah.
what I want to pour into. Because there's
Yeah.
a big difference. There is a big difference.
Yes.
And I like you're saying, as far as like, do you want me to make love to you at the end of the day? Like, yeah, I need to feel that love and appreciation and adoration back. Because that's
And
why we make our homes. That's why we make the meals. Is because we love and adore our families, and that is our way of showing that. So if we don't ever get shown that back, then we have nothing left to give. We ran this race and have done all these things for what feels like nothing.
yeah, there has to be reciprocity. And I do not remember the book or the author. If I do happen to remember it after, or I can look it up, I can put it in the show notes for people, because I'd also like to give people credit, the right people credit. But there is a woman who wrote a book, and it was on relationships and with your husband specifically. And she says, now I'm not, this is just an idea. I'm not saying it's the way to do it, right? Like
Mhm.
everyone gets to make up their own rules in their own way. But she says you should never do anything for your husband that he can do for himself. So she, like, her husband does all of his own laundry and all of that. And the reason is she believes that she, and like if he wants to be the head of the house, like in a traditional, like masculine, feminine type dynamic, then if he gets stuck and can't figure something out, she just says, "Oh, I'm sure you'll figure it out." She says, "Do not ever offer him advice because he has to go through his own challenges to rise to the occasion." And that is even like as a woman, my masculine, internal masculine grows and has grown and gotten bigger, and I have a huge masculine for myself because the challenge has forced me, my masculine, to grow. My masculine has grown through challenge. So she's like, to keep it spicy and juicy and to make it where you don't take on the mom role, because you can't keep it spicy and juicy if you feel like his mom.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Keep those clear boundaries and don't pack his lunch for him. Don't do his laundry. You can cook dinner if you enjoy cooking dinner and you're cooking dinner for everyone, but don't do it because he needs dinner, because
Yeah.
he's not your child. And don't tell him how to fix his problems. Don't offer him advice because you are not his mom and you want to keep it spicy and juicy. And I will say that it makes a lot of sense to me. I haven't been in a marriage since I've read that to practice it, but it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense to me because, this is kind of lewd or whatever to say, but I mean, like, you don't want to fuck your kid, right? Like your little boy, like
Yeah.
you want
Hmm.
him to be a man and then you're going to want him.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
But
I
if
agree.
you make him your little boy by doing all this stuff for him, then of course you're not attracted and it's not spicy.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, put that in the notes because now I need to read it. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, how did that land for you in making a home? Those little distinguishing factors.
I think that's good. I mean, I definitely don't do all of those things. And I feel like it would be different. Some of it is like, where we are, like, um, I guess he would have to figure it out. That would be interesting to try and play out. He would just have to figure it out. Like, you want your laundry done, you'll just have to figure it out. Figure it out. You'll figure it out. You'll get it done. I
Yeah.
believe in you. So does that lady work or does she stay home?
I don't think she works. I think she stays home now. She's written a couple of books. Um,
Mhm.
but I feel like she did work in the beginning and then she stopped working maybe because she just decided that to let him take it all on and he wanted to do it so he can do it,
Yeah.
you know? And but I think even if you work, like you can still show up in your marriage however you choose.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking as far as like her not doing his laundry and stuff, like I just was curious.
Yeah, she can do her laundry and then go to yoga.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think um all marriages are different. So I'd be really curious like their dynamics. Like do they live in the city? Do they live in the country? Like but I keep going back to the whole he'll figure it out thing. You want clean clothes, you'll figure it out. Who cares if you need to mow the grass or whatever, go run the tractor. Like if you want clean clothes tomorrow, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's like a made up story that you have more time to do laundry when you're at home raising three children than he has to do laundry just because he's outside working.
Well, the reality is like, okay, yeah, I do have time to do laundry, but I'm not raising those kids. I'm doing laundry.
Right.
I'm
So,
not I'm not spending
yeah,
any time with the kids. They might be in the house with me,
right,
but I'm not doing anything with them because I'm busy doing all these other things.
right. So I think that's like that's the little distinguishing factor too that people have to shift in their mind is like just because someone stays home with the kids doesn't mean that they should have to do 50 jobs, right? Like you're not the dry cleaner, the chef, the nurse, the doctor, the teacher,
Yeah. Mhm.
the daycare worker. Like there's no way that you can, I mean, you can take all of that on if you want, but realistically, how well are you going to do all of those jobs for everyone all
Yeah.
the time? And then how do you nourish yourself? And being a projector as you are, you really need that downtime and you need to spend some alone time in your own aura. So when
Hmm.
are you also prioritizing and fitting that in?
Yeah. Well, I hope people got a lot out of this little short, juicy session we just had. I really hope people take something away from this because I feel like we get stuck in these cycles and these roles, and you're just stuck in a place of misery, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Oh no. We always have choice and power and we can make life whatever we want it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was real fun today. Episode 7. Tonight's another one, the last solo date. So we're getting really close to the end of the season, and then we'll pick where we're going to go from there.
Yes. We're getting close.
I'm excited.
All right. Well,
Okay.
talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.